So hey guys, I was eagerly waiting for this movie to be told because he's sort of a big deal in the film critic world. I mean, he's one of the reason why I'm doing this today because he inspired me so much. Ever since Stuckmann announced in his channel that he is gonna be making a movie, I was super excited just to see what he's capable of as a filmmaker. I used to binge watch his content, especially his hilariosity videos and his Halloween special. Yeah, so him making a movie is kind of special to me at least. So about the movie Shelby Oaks, there are some incredible horror sequences, and I felt like after a long time the horror sequences felt really earned rather than a cheap trick. It slowly built up the tension, and the payoff works for the most part at least. You can clearly see the love for horror movies and an attempt to make something honest here. All that being said, as a movie, did it work well? Did the movie have depth enough to elevate the horror sequences in the film? Well, that's a bit questionable. Despite the compelling aspects, the movie does fall into a very predictable space. When the main plot points were explored, I couldn't help but feel like, man, I've seen this in many horror movies before. But also the scenes were very much a part of the film, as in it did help to enhance the lore. It didn't just come out of nowhere. But I just wish it was a bit more interesting. I think the biggest plus of this movie is the leading actor. She does her absolute best to keep our attention throughout the film. Even when the movie slows down, the tension in her performance really kept me engaged. Like at one point, this character just shivers for a very long time. I was like, dude, you're freaking me out. Will you calm down for a second? They casted the right person for this role, no questions about it. And I feel like that helped this film a lot. I would say even more than the script. Another thing I appreciated about this film is the idea to explain the story. I think that saved the movie as well because it started as a found footage documentary and then it switches into a very well shot cinematic film, which I thought was very interesting. It was refreshing to see that, and that made the movie unique for sure. That's funny. It started in a very interesting way, but as the movie progresses, it became very generic. Maybe being generic is, not a complaint because if you could say that, weapons as a generic one liner too. If we were to put it simply, it's just a simple psychological thriller, right? But the instances made that movie special, especially the screenplay, how we get to know the story and the character and the performances, right? It had so many layers, like over the generic plot, it had so many other layers that made the movie more interesting. And that helped that movie to become the movie it is today, which is fucking awesome. But that was clearly missing in this movie because it's a simple plot and the screenplay doesn't really do a lot of interesting things, and it has one character. The entire movie is depending on this character. I look, I understand the budget differences and all of that, so maybe it's not fair to compare weapons with this, but I'm just saying, like, even a generic plot can be turned into something as interesting as weapons. Okay, I'm going to mention a spoiler now. Even when the movie reveals the cult subplot, I wish they could have done something different, you know what I mean? It was not bad, it was just, it's okay. At the very end, I think they knew it ended in a very generic way, so they added an extra layer to it, which on paper sounds incredible because of what happens, but I don't know why in the movie it came off as a bit corny rather than shocking. I want you guys to watch it. I'm not gonna spoil what that is because that might be the only interesting part in that film, weirdly. But another thing I have to appreciate is that the movie felt complete and it clearly had a direction and a very good flow. The music was good, it's shot well, and the cinematography was decent. It wasn't gimmicky, it's a genuine attempt to keep us engaged, but at one point it just falls short. Even like it started off really well. The intro scene, like the credit scene, was so good. It reminded me of so many old films. Plus, even with the limited money, the movie managed to look really good. Especially this town is supposed to be abandoned, and we get that feeling when we watch the movie. Hey, and it's not bad as many people are saying it is. It's just a decent film, especially for a debut filmmaker. Plus, this person has no background or connection to that world at all. He wrote it by himself, and his fans funded that film until Neon picked it, of course. And it ended up making a profit too. So even the big names don't make money anymore. Like their movies just don't make a profit anymore. So there's something to be appreciated here. All that being said, I'm really happy that someone who made YouTube videos from his room finally made it to the big screen. It's nice to see that. But I couldn't help but feel like, there are problems in this film. Here, there was something missing in the movie, the engagement factor, the unique, especially when a director is debuting with the film, he's supposed to like really go for it and punch the audience, not literally, but you know what I mean, with their best story. But I don't know why Chris went for a very predictable story. But again, with time and experience, I think we might see something very impressive from him. So this is his first film, so let's just wait and see what he does. So yeah, that's about this. That's about this movie from me. See ya.